G'day mates, Nelos here, welcome back to Asagao Academy. In the previous episode, we agreed to do a date auction after sort of making up with Paul, I think. And at this date auction, Nick and Josh decided to bid on us, and their bid was ridiculously high, so Paul ruled that both of them could take me. So the two decided to take me on a double date? I don't know. When the knock came at my door, I was dressed and ready to go. I glanced at Mai, who nodded slowly and gave me a thumbs up. It was time.
Hey!
Hey guys, ready to rock?
Ah, look at you.
You look great. I giggled and did a quick twirl. Thanks! We set off across the campus, heading again for the Higginbottom Mall. ... It was weird. Last time I went to Higginbottom Mall, I believe it was on my first date, my real first date. This time, I was actually on my first date. In fact, this probably constituted more of a first date than either of the others. The difference was that this time, I was the one void of romantic intent. I was nervous, especially with my suspicion that Josh and Nick had feelings for me that I didn't reciprocate. Part of me even felt they knew I didn't have any feelings for them. That way, this date was more like a conciliatory offering, a parting gift, an expression of regret on my part. They didn't know that I was hung up on Paul. At least I hope they didn't. That'd make things awkward for them. No, the best I could do was try and relax and have fun. Hana, you okay? Huh? I snapped out of my reverie. Josh and Nick were looking at me in that way that only meant I had a decision to make. What's up? Do you want Thai or Mexican? Do you want Thai or Mexican? Excuse me, Josh was. Thai, Mexican, or you pick. Huh. I think we're gonna go with the Mexican today. Because I don't want to say, you pick, because that's being lazy and boring. Let's spice it up. Mexican. Great choice. Josh stuck his tongue out at Nick, then led us inside a colorful restaurant. The interior walls set up like a Spanish mesa. The waitress got our drink orders and was about to leave when Nick tapped her elbow. May we please get some candles? She raised an eyebrow but nodded. The customer was always right. Except when they're not. Josh shot Nick a glare, then cleared his throat. So, Hana, please, tell me more about your interests. He leaned forward, placing his elbows on the table. Seeing this, Nick mimicked him. My interest?
Yeah.
Yes, your interests are so fascinating. I would love to hear you talk about them. Well, I've been busy with the election and the tournament, so I haven't really had time. The tournament? Nick and Josh traded guilty looks. Don't tell me you haven't been practicing. We share a dorm room with Paul, so of course things are a bit hectic right now. Paul's 1/3 of our team anyway. There's not much hope for us as long as he's so worked up. Does he always get this bad? Nick huffed. It is a bit weird, I think. He's usually very cool under pressure, but this year he's been all over the place. He has more riding on it this time. That's true, but Paul is always the optimist out of the three of us. When something really bad happens, he's always got a game plan. Recently, he's been acting like his actual life is on the line. The waitress came back for our drinks. I sipped my pink lemonade happily and ordered my meal. We'd like an appetizer too, if you don't mind. And a dessert menu, if you would. Guys, I'm not sure I'll be able to eat all of that. I mean, you can order it for yourself, but... Nonsense. Don't worry about decorum. I won't judge you for eating a ton. Nick flashed me a thumbs up as Josh ordered 2 separate appetizers and a full cheesecake for dessert. I quailed in my seat. Oh god. 2 appetizers and a dessert? And assuming an entry? Oh god. I had never been pampered like this, if pampered was even the right word. My father and I rarely went out to eat, and when we did, it was to celebrate some accomplishment. Straight A's in my report card, a birthday, a big sale that came through the shop. I couldn't help but feel guilty spending this much money on food, and it was someone else's money to boot.
Hana.
What are you thinking about? I jumped, shaken from my reverie. Again. I almost forgot they were there, but they again gazed at me as if I held the answer to all the world's problems.
My dad?
Ooh.
Tell us more about this dad.
Oh god.
His name's Asagao, and I miss him a lot. He's an artist. He makes pottery for a living. A sculptor.
Would we have seen any of his works?
No, they're local things. I think back when my mom was around, an artist did some sketches of her arrangements. Also, she was really gifted with flowers.
Nick nodded. That explains how you came to be.
How I...
What? What? Seriously, Nick. What the hell? The waitress set down 2 plates of smorgasbord, and Josh spread his hands like a magi. Or magi. However you want to pronounce it. Do they have smorgasbord in Mexico? I know it's a Swedish thing, but whatever. Details.
Eat whatever you like, my dear. Thanks, but I'd rather just wait for my meal.
Nick shook his head. So modest, so humble. Increasingly uncomfortable, I was relieved when my food arrived and Nick and Josh's odd questions and commentary were put to a stop. All of us were starving, especially since we skipped our regularly scheduled academy dinner. The food was pretty good, and I managed to eat about half my plate so I could save the rest for a snack or dinner I missed. When the waitress came to take the plates, she set down a rather large complete cheesecake. At this point, even Nick and Josh realized the error of their ways. She slid the chuck between Nick and Josh and went on her way. Josh grabbed it and dragged it toward him.
Of course, I will pay for everything tonight.
Wrong.
No, I will pay. The lady deserves only the best, after all. He pulled the check towards him.
I've already claimed it.
Back to Josh, and then to Nick, and back again. I sipped the last of my drink as the check turned to a blur between them. Eventually, they agreed to split the bill, and then had a lengthy argument about proper tips.
You see,
Josh scrolled a large 5 and 3 even larger zeros after it.
I like to treat my service workers well, because I treat even the people who are not close to me like they are valuable human beings.
Nick followed suit with the same number. 5,000, I'm assuming yen. I don't like to brag about how much I tip. I like my actions to speak for themselves. Do they actually tip in Japan? I have no idea. It was the most taxing hour I've ever experienced. When we finally came back to the campus, they both clamored to walk me to my room.
Let me, I'll do it.
No!
No, that's not necessary. Thank you.
But you're a lady and gentlemen should...
That's quite alright. I need to go get something, so please go on without me. But I insist. You guys aren't listening to me.
With that one statement of fact, both boys snapped straight.
Right. Thank you so much for joining us on this date, Hana.
Yes, I truly appreciate it.
But I appreciate it more. Just go.
The two jumped in, seeing the look on my face, set off down the walkway at twice the usual speed. I sighed. I liked them both, really I did, but there was no way I could handle the two of them together, alone, without Paul's help. At least it wasn't, again, without you. Okay, the wind rustled through the leaves around me, almost sounding like a person walking by. I sighed again, even now I thought of him. Of... Paul. I stumbled towards Poppy in the ever-deepening darkness, tired thoughts flowing before me like petals. Why did Nick and Josh both like me? Why? I hadn't done anything special for either of them, at least not if those are such intense feelings. Made me uneasy, especially since they couldn't tell I wasn't interested. That was no reason not to spend time with them as friends, as long as it wasn't awkward and they understood that I didn't reciprocate. These were thoughts racing through my mind when I heard something clatter on the ground behind me, and I whirled around.
No!
Don't you dare come anywhere near me! I'll kick you 3 ways to China! Oh, Caddy, it's just you!
A trembling caddy stood in front of me, cradling something shiny in his arms.
You okay? You don't look so great.
Hana, please, don't tell anybody about this. Yeah, it's been a while since I had to do a British accent. Hana, please, don't tell anybody about this. Ugh, damn it. Confused, I drew closer to him, the objects becoming clear as I did.
Don't worry, I'm not after Curfew too, so I'd also...
I stopped. The objects in Caddy's arms stood out to me in sharp relief. Caddy was holding guns. I stared at him, not daring to move. It's not really what it looks like. These I use them for... I'm not going to hurt anybody with them. I only hurt the games with them.
Games.
Yeah, if it's really good, I send it floating up to heaven. If it's absolute shit, I torture it for laser. It's not...
You have guns with which you use to shoot video games.
Well...
I know it sounds weird, but it really cements to me that I'm done with it. That we can part ways and both move on with our lives. It's a form of closure. Look, you don't have to understand, but I ask that you at least don't report this. I swear, absolutely swear that I will not use these guns at any living creature, so help me God. I took a slow, deep breath.
I'm gonna pretend I didn't see anything, okay?
Really?
Really?
In the meantime, you're going to toss those somewhere safe, preferably the Pacific Ocean. And if I ever see them again, you're going to be in such hot water you won't even feel your skin peeling off. Got it?
That's bloody graphic, Hana.
Got it?
Right, I got it.
Farewell.
Thanks again, Hana. You won't regret this. Ugh. It's been a while since I do Caddy's voice. I know how to do Shane's voice. It's like this low. So, what do you want? That kind of voice. I nod happily. Caddy wouldn't harm a fly in a person's head. I had no doubts about that, even if those guns glowing in the lamplight were the scariest thing I'd ever seen. I hoped my faith wouldn't go unfulfilled. As I reached the fork between Primrose and Bluebell, I heard another rustling somewhere behind me and again whirled around.
Who's there this time?
To my immense surprise, Paul stood, body half in and half out of one of Asagao's manicured bushes, a styrofoam box not all that different from mine in his hands.
Paul.
Paul?
It's not what it looks like. I wasn't following you. I just had a sudden hankering for a burrito, that's all. ... The face of skepticism returns. ...
Well...
Oh, I'm off. Busy day tomorrow. What with the election and all. Have a good sleep, don't get injured, eat your veggies, and all that. Paul jumped back into the hedgerow. Slowly the rustling of trembling of the bushes faded away as Paul headed for Bluebell House.
I guess you just really didn't want to get caught?
No, it was better not to think too much about it. I had bigger things in my mind. The sun had barely risen that morning, the day of the election speeches. I changed clothes hastily, heart in my throat. The election speeches would be happening in a theater, which Asagao apparently used as his auditorium. It wasn't a mandatory attendance type thing, and given the early hour of the speeches, so it wouldn't interfere with classes, I had a feeling only the students who cared most would show up. But then, the students who cared most were our core audience. They were the hardest to sway once they had settled on a candidate. They were the ones who were actually going to bother to vote, and whose opinions would be sought when the day came. It was important for Paul to win them to his side, but he was treading on faith. Faith that he wasn't so steadfast after last year. As I crept to the stage, Jeff raised a cheery hand towards me.
Huh.
Ouch! Ouch! I stepped past him and up to Paul, who was sitting in a chair, head in his hands. I don't know. I tweaked the speech so many times, but I don't know if that's going to make the impact I want. I glanced around. Nick and Josh were nowhere to be found. Seeing my wandering eyes, Paul sighed. I told him to come later. I wanted plants in the audience to laugh at my jokes, just in case.
That's not the worst idea you've had.
Put a hand on his shoulder and then, after a moment's hesitation, began to massage him like I was pumping up a boxer.
You put so much work into this. At this point, if it doesn't work out, there's nothing you can do. Just how it's supposed to go.
No.
I want to go my way. I peered into his face. There were dark bags under his eyes. It looked like he hadn't slept a wink. Not. And yet, he used his precious time to eat out last night, and then follow me home in the bushes. I chuckled softly.
You do everything 100%, don't you?
I try. If you give them everything your best shot, you have no regrets in the end.
That's a lot of pressure. Can't you cut yourself some slack?
He shook his head fervently and suppressed a yawn. People deserve the best of me. I deserve the best of me too.
You don't owe anybody anything.
It's not about debt, it's about responsibility. He rushed up and put a hand over mine. I froze. He smiled up at me.
Hana!
Thanks, Hana.
No, for what?
I'm glad that after everything that's happened, I still know I can count on you. I slipped my hands from her hands and clamped it behind my back.
Yep. People are going to be coming in a second. Get in a second. Do you want me in the audience, or...?
Please, I'd like to mentally prepare myself. I nodded and headed into the audience to find myself a good seat. As I passed Jeff and Ian paused to watch me go. Their eyes followed me into a seat, and I waved happily at them. I definitely deserve that. The room slowly filled with more people than I imagined. As I scanned the crowd, noticing girls with their heads buried together, comparing notes on Jeff's and Paul's platforms, boys arguing about who would win a sword fight, I started to think Paul was right. The election was closer than I anticipated. Sorry. Should I have worked harder to help him? We've got so little done in that amount of time that I almost wanted to go back and strangle myself for not working hard when I had the chance. In a distant corner, Nick's head bobbed or bounced around. Josh was in the other corner, arms over the back of the empty chairs next to him. No one even bothered asking whether they could take it. Finally, it was time for them to deliver their speeches. Paul's was first, and he took the stage to cheers from the students around him. And what lovely applause that is. I gave him a thumbs up, and he grinned when he found me in the crowd. Without taking his eyes off me, he pulled out his notes and began to orate. Students, my fellow Asagao students, it is I, your current standing president, Paul Ritchie. The crowd cheered. I smiled at him, and he reflexively smiled back. The time has come to choose who is worthy of being your next class president. As might be expected, I am hoping to have a second term. This is a responsibility you must take very seriously. I would hope that... He wasn't looking away. Why wasn't he looking away from me? Badass, a leather jacket, and a steel-tinted smile. This is already shaping up to be a great speech. He was just staring at me, dead staring at me from across the room, like a stalker. I remembered the bushes and wondered whether that was more true than I thought. Must rise up and seek justice. You want the truth? You can't handle the truth. It was hard to concentrate on his speech, so intense was his gaze, so furiously and passionately was he speaking. I had a dream once. I dreamed of proper funding for club activities, rather than having to depend on our parents for even more of our livelihoods. People call us spoiled, why should we let them be correct? If his words weren't reaching me, his feelings were. All sincerity came across in everything he did, from the look in his still staring eyes to the way he flung his arms out to the fact that he was no longer even using his notes. A loud laugh came from the left of me. I realized Paul had made his joke. Rippling giggles flowed through the audience and Paul smiled. And that was Nick's laugh. So I say to you, we will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. Today, we celebrate our independence from Asagao's frankly horrible club budgeting, fundraising, and exploitative system. Today, we celebrate our financial independence. Paul flung his note cards across the stage with a flourish, and the crowd stood with roaring applause. I jumped up and punched the air, and Paul pointed at me and gave me a thumbs up. He nailed it. As he headed backstage, passing Jeff on his way up, his shoulders slumped. The energy left him. His lack of sleep from the night before, probably several nights before, finally caught up to him. I crept out of my seat and along the aisle as Jeff took his position on stage, script in hand.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you an idea for consideration, the Galactic Empire.
That opening line almost made me want to stay and listen to the rest of the speech, but Paul needed me. I ducked backstage.
Paul.
Paul was laying flat on the ground, his hand over his eyes. I ran to his side.
Oh my god, Paul, are you okay? Are you sick? Did you overwork yourself? You stupid.
Paul waved a hand. I'm fine, I'm just processing. I heaved a sigh of relief.
You did it. You had a great speech.
Did I? I don't remember much about it. Did people laugh?
They did.
Did people clap?
Standing ovation.
Oh, sick!
Sick! That's great. Paul let out a slow, deep breath. I watched him carefully.
Here.
I patted my lap. Paul moved his hand. What?
You're tired, aren't you? The floor's no place for a nap.
I tried to make it sound no nonsense, like having Paul's head in my lap was of absolutely no consequence to me, but the heat in my face told me I didn't succeed. ... He stared at me for a few seconds, the moment so long I was about ready to turn tail when he scooted across the floor and laid his hand in my lap.
Dot, dot, dot.
Dot, dot, dot. You alright?
Yeah, I'm fine. Are you comfortable?
Small smile crossed his lips.
Hmm.
Very. We stayed like that for a while. I ran my hands gently through his hair, giving him what I hoped was a relaxing scalp massage. Eventually, Paul's breathing leveled and I realized he had fallen asleep. It was nice. But oh my god, are my legs cramping. Eventually, thunderous applause rang out on stage. I knew Jeff's speech was over. I nudged Paul awake and he rose, a drunk kitten after a nap by the fire. How long was I out?
You're good. Just ended. Class will start soon.
Paul nodded, clearly not currently a part of this world. Thank you.
No problem.
Paul grabbed me around the shoulders and pulled me into a hug, burying his face into the side of my neck. You're great.
Wait, you're not drunk, are you?
Paul sighed contentedly, and I gently peeled his hands from around me.
We have to go to class.
And we're not dating, remember? You basically turned me down. I thought it, but I didn't say it. He didn't need more stress, not with the tournament and election literally in the next 2 days. But part of me was a little upset. Just because he knew I felt that way about him, he thought it was okay to exploit it. He really has the best intentions. If you can believe in that, you'll overcome everything. What? I remember that quote from the old man. Mr. Sidhone's voice floated across the backseat speakers, and I jumped. Something wrong?
No.
I stood and dusted off my skirt.
Let's get to class then.
He nodded sleepily. Let's. No meeting today either. We'll be practicing for a tournament. Finally. I giggled and Paul smiled. I'll see you tomorrow then. He held a fist to me. Good luck. Alright. You know, let's continue this. I woke the next morning and eyes scratchy and head spinning. Apparently the stress of the day before took its toll. I felt almost sick as I put on my uniform and tried to talk myself down. Sure, I hadn't prepared at all, but I could still win, right? Strategy is always, right? Strategy is always. Okay, thank you for the prep talk, Shane. I stepped out into the fresh spring air, taking a deep breath. My event was one of the first, so I had to be there earlier than most. I set my shoulders and started across campus. The arcade at which the tournament was being held was much smaller than I had expected. I felt like I'd find some kind of convention, but instead it was a small local arcade full of machines, smaller rooms split off, which were probably where the individual competitions take place throughout the day. Few people milled about the space, generally older folk in their 20s and 30s. I glanced at the agenda in my hand and made my way to one of the back rooms. When I entered the competition room, I found 2 chairs on an elevated platform, computer and projectors sitting between them. Ian sat in one of the chairs, looking bored out of his mind.
Ian!
Hey.
It's about time you showed up. I was starting to get worried you died.
It's sweet of you to be so concerned.
Is it?
Yeah.
Dot. I got into the chair next to him. A man came over to me to check my name and club affiliation. I saw I was a member of the Normal Boots Club, a small surge of pride making me sit up straight as I did. There were chairs lined up for people to watch us compete, and to my surprise, the entire room soon filled. I searched the crowd to find the guys. There they were, they came to support me. All of them. I smiled, excitement flooding through me, and then was struck with terror. There was nothing like the threat of failing in front of all the people he cared about. As I stared worriedly into the crowd, a blur of movement caught my eye. Wally was sitting with the rest of the Hidden Block Club, beaming at me. When he saw me looking, he waved enthusiastically. Ian rolled his eyes.
Really?
Would it kill you to root for your own teammate? I giggled. Finally, the lights around us dimmed and the projector started up the main menu of Dumb Dude's Revenge on screen. It was time to start. As the MC began his introduction and explained the rules of the game, Ian turned to me, a smirk on his face. Sure you're ready for this?
Yeah.
You bet I am.
Ready to go. The man turned to us, Ian and I nodded. Then, 3, 2, 1, start. The game began. I immediately clicked to fill my screen of 2 more lines of blocks. Ian began working for what he had. I scanned the blocks for the pink cards, eliminating them one by one, making combos where I could. I still wasn't advanced enough to plan tons of combos ahead of time, but I could make it much more likely for combos to happen through probability. Pinks are all but gone. Green leaves are next. Some dudes started flipping at the top of the screen. Ian must be comboing, which meant I had a few seconds before those blocks would fall. I set up a combo on top of the screen and started eliminating the orange blocks below it. Then it happened. A 6 combo jumped at me from on the screen. My eyes crossed as I stared at it in shock. I had to move the top block over one space. And as quickly as I saw it, it vanished. The blocks were normal again.
You're dead!
Ian's look of concern. Ian's block fell upon my humble kingdom and I slid the combo into place. 2, 3, 4 combo, 5 combo, 6 combo, 7 combo, 8 combo! As Ian's attack converted into blocks and hovered above mine, I set up several more combos and waited for them to fall. 10 combo, legendary! Don't do farted out rainbows over Ian's zone, and then blocks. So many blocks. They didn't come in a chunk. They came in a torrential downpour, all over the inside, sliding from left to right and back again. Ian blinked, his hands and eyes moving frantically over the screen. I wasn't sure he had ever seen something like that before. I sure had. I continued to combo while this was happening, but at this point there was no need. Ian's screen filled up. He kept trying to make combos till the very end, but game over! That was it. I won. I stared dumbfounded at the screen in front of me. Ian's mouth hung open. The room was silent. Then...
Whoa!
Yeah, Hana!
Aw, yeah.
I knew you could do it! I glanced up to see everyone applauding. All of it, even the Hidden Block Club. The announcer was gaping at the screen. I have never seen a score that high. Certain I was red as a tomato, I stood climbed down off the platform. Not so fast. Ian stepped in front of me, grim as always. I braced myself for his infinite sarcasm. But to my surprise, he laughed.
Hana.
That was a hell of a game, Hana. That's exactly what I want from you. He held a hand in the air and looked at it in confusion. Don't leave me hanging.
Yeah.
Oh! I high-fived him and he clasped my hand in his. Thanks, Hana. That was fun. Then he disappeared into the pressing crowd. I wiggled my way through all the people, eager if I'd continue. They weren't usually hard to find, even in a crowded room.
Yeah.
Hana, hell yeah! Congratulations! He pulled me into a hug and I blushed furiously, practically throwing him off of me.
Sorry.
No, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have.
Yeah!
Hell yeah, girl, you kicked some serious ass! Josh flicked an imaginary tear from his eye.
I've never been prouder.
I chuckled.
Thanks, you guys. Isn't your event soon?
We're up next, actually. You'll watch, won't you?
Of course.
Paul, Nick, and Josh crossed not to another room of the arcade, but to the main arcade room, where a small crowd gathered around a fighting game. Are you ready to get your asses kicked? Ha, really, dude? Us?
Oh, I know that's right.
There's no way you can beat our teamwork, it just won't happen. Say whatever you want about your teamwork. We're like brothers, we're telepathic. Yeah, we'll make something blow up on you if we have to. Kenny's eyes slid to me and patted Waleed and Jimmy on the shoulders.
No, we won't. We're very civilized people here.
That's a terrible way to intimidate someone. The MC took the 6 guys' names on his clipboard and smiled. The tag team beat 'em up is about to start. Who will be playing first? Nick and Waleed raised their hands. The MC gestured to the cabinet, and the two assumed their positions. To switch out, shout tag. You'll be switching out in real time, so if you make any mistakes due to shoddy communication, that's your own fault. Sorry, I've had shoddy speaking skills for some of this LP. Anyway, the 3 nodded grimly. For all we knew, the result of the tournament depended on this. Josh and Paul stretched themselves out and assumed the strategic locations behind Nick. 3, 2, 1, start! I had no idea why he had to shout for the match to start, because the pairs simply selected their characters, but one way or another, the battle commenced. Nick and Waleed were well matched in the beginning, each taking small hits and attempting combos that the other immediately deflected. It was a tense battle, both hunched frustratingly close to the screens. I almost couldn't make anything out. Tag, Josh! Nick spun with a flourish away from the machine and Josh leaped in, dealing a several hit combo on Waleed, who was unprepared for lower targeted hits Josh was throwing. After getting half of Waleed's health was out. What? Huh? What? Jimmy raised his fist. Tag, I'm going in. He pulled Reed out by the shoulder, who seemed to have forgotten that other people were even waiting to play. Jimmy and Josh went back and forth against each other, each managing to land a combo at some point, but was slow going. Josh was clearly trying to go for environmental kills, and Jimmy stayed well away from those locations, making the match somewhat of a stalemate. Josh fell lower and lower, until finally it seemed just one hit would do him in, then Jimmy lunged. Tag, Paul! Josh spun away from the machine in a graceful pirouette, and Paul leaped into action. He pummeled his fist straight into Jimmy's face and unleashed a ferocious combo that Jimmy wasn't able to distract himself from. The tag, Caddy! Caddy jumped onto the machine, pulling himself away from Paul's attacks. They were both on their last leg of life, prowling around each other like wary tigers. One miss from either of them meant the match and possibly the tournament. I had no idea how they were keeping their cool. So, Caddy, I never knew you and Ian were such close friends. Lucy and I are not friends. Caddy slammed his fist on the arcade cabinet, and in that moment of distraction, Paul pulled a swift kick to his ankles. Caddy crumpled like a pop balloon, and the match was won.
Yay!
Paul, you did it!
I ran to hug him, only found myself squished underneath Nick and Josh, who were hugging him as well. We formed a single four-human entity, a malformation bobbing up and down in front of the arcade cabinet. Yes, wonderful, wonderful. If you don't mind, please relocate. This is turning into a bit of a traffic jam. With the match called, the MC thanked the crowd and ushered everybody away from the machines. Today was free play for tournament players, but not for anybody else. They seemed keen to get the arcade their money's worth. We peel ourselves off of each other.
So, what do you say we go play some games?
I thought you'd never ask. Oh man. We probably wouldn't even notice the MC taking the stage to announce the winner if he hadn't cleared his throat like he had pneumonia. When he was sure he had everybody's attention, he smiled charmingly. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this year's tournament is, unsurprisingly, the Normal Boots Club!
Yay!
Yes!
I screamed and clapped and we swarmed on stage. The poor MC didn't know what hit him. As he celebrated, Paul grabbed the microphone. Please, everyone. I am proud to announce the newest addition to the Normal Boots Club, our lovely campaign manager and the most tolerant angel on the face of this woeful earth, Hana Bizano. The boys cheered as Josh pulled me to the front of the stage. Nick set something around my shoulders and I looked down to find a brand new Normal Boots jacket over my standard uniform. I beamed at Paul and he gave me a thumbs up and a wink.
Yeah.
Well then, we'll see you all again next year. Paul handed a microphone to the MC, then pulled me, Nick, and Josh next to him. It's great that we won, it really is, but our weekend isn't over yet. No, it wasn't. Tomorrow was the day of the actual voting. The election results would be decided. Suddenly sobered, we decided to head back to campus for a day of tense attempts at relaxation, one word throbbing through each of our minds. Tomorrow. Considering Asagao was such a rich school, I expected the voting process to be a little more technological. Instead, students lined up their red paper ballots and turned them in, ballots that were then tallied and handed to the teachers manning the voting booth. I also expected a sizable turnout, but apparently I thought wrong. The votes were tallied up in almost no time, despite Miss Shizuka and Mr. Saitomo chortling at each other like childhood friends. When the ballot was finally done, the result was placed in a sealed envelope and given to the standing president to read for the auditorium and the voters who stayed for the results. The standing president, meaning Paul. With a grim set to his jaw, he carefully peeled the envelope open. Your new acting president for this year is... He lifted the card to his face, squinting at what it said. Me! It's me! Paul looked up from the envelope, a smile of pure disbelief lighting his face.
Yeah!
I won! I'm president again! It wasn't much of a formal announcement, but judging from the student reactions, Paul could be forgiven just this once. A cheer rose up from the majority of the students, though. A few even made faces and sulked. Sorry for butchering that. I ran the stage and into Paul's arms, where he pulled me into a deep bear hug. Small popping noises went off above us, confetti sparkling from the ceiling. Oh my god. This is... awesome. Hell yeah. Paul pulled away from me and tucked a stray bit of hair behind my ear.
Oh no.
Anna, I have a bit of a confession to make. As much as I love honesty, I wasn't being honest to you or myself. As we spent more and more time together managing the campaign and messing ourselves silly, I found myself drawn to you. I thought it was just a matter of the election, that I wanted your skills or your aura. I knew Nick and Josh had a thing for you, and I didn't want to step on their toes, so I did everything I could to convince myself my feelings weren't romantic, but I can't do that anymore. I followed you all on your date, because the idea of someone else going on a date with you was driving me insane. Now I can finally admit that maybe it wasn't really the election I wanted to win. Well, I mean, it was. Definitely it was, but even more than that, I wanted to win your heart.
Paul.
Oh, that's the single cheesiest thing I've ever heard you utter.
Really? Is it? I swear I've said much worse things.
Cheese, like craft style. I'm gonna need some bread to put that on, it's so bad.
Paul rolled his eyes. I'm sure you don't like it one bit.
Well, I didn't say that.
I giggled helplessly, and Paul lifted me into the air, applying a swift kiss on my lips. Ha! Now what are you gonna do about it? Blushing furiously, I leaned in and kissed him back, right there in front of everybody.
Oi, oi, lovebirds, stop it! You're gonna make us all sick.
Paul and I untangled ourselves from each other, blushing furiously. What on earth were we gonna do with you two? I swear, that was the most painful thing in the world to watch. You two are so obvious. Obvious? I am not obvious.
In any case...
Josh slung his arms around Nick and Paul's necks, who slung their arms around me. I reciprocated until we were in a football-like huddle.
It seems like we were always a four-person team. We just didn't know it. We're glad to have you on, Hana.
I beamed. The days I spent watching the three of them have fun without me were long gone. Now I was not only part of the Normal Boots Club, but also part of them.
I'm so happy. Oh god, she's crying!
What do we do? What do we do?
Ah!
Find some chocolate! Find a stuffed animal! Find anything comforting, quick! As the three of them darted around the stage like maniacs, I giggled. It was the start of a great year. Oh man. The credits started rolling and Paul paused the video.
Well,
what do you guys think? After months of work, the film club's first feature-length movie was complete, and the Normal Boots Club were first privileged to see it. Paul, Nick, and Josh stared us down. We shifted uncomfortably. Well, I mean, it's not that bad, especially not for a student film.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I can see you put some thought into cinematography, trying to make it the third character in the story.
all right.
We did. Yeah, you tried. Fun fact, Satch and Nick do a podcast together called Cinephilia, I think it's called. Something like that. Something anonymous. Anyway, yeah. That was all the shite.
Wasn't that bad though, not for your first work.
Three of them seemed to collapse in on themselves. It was as if Shane's words were a black hole, and their souls all matter in the physical universe.
You ain't gonna go up from here. You never made a film before, and there's a lot of talent in there. Really, there is.
Thanks, guys. I guess we'll just try harder.
By the way, Hana, did you see Mai's latest column in the paper?
As Paul, Nick, and Josh started the film club, they had to make some hard decisions. There was no way they'd be able to continue column while also being in the Normal Boots Club, running a student council, and making films. When I told him about my secret ambition to be a writer, Paul's eyes lit up.
What?
Another aspiring writer? That's perfect! Absolutely perfect! Of course, Mai's personality translated particularly well to paper, coming through like a demented foghorn. Unfortunately, this meant people often had a bone to pick for opinions and analyses. Yeah, she said Sonic Zoom actually wasn't that bad of a game. Are you sure she's alright in the head? Sonic Zoom. Oh man. I could hear my shouting, "It is for the greater good!" It is for the greater good. I serve my muse and live only for the truth, without even thinking about it.
Honestly, I'm not too sure about that.
Well, it was fun showing you guys this, but we're going to have to get back to the council. Word has it Jeff has some ideas that could improve Asagao. We don't want to keep him waiting. Paul wrapped an arm around my waist and I grinned.
Sure.
Life at Asagao was never particularly easy, quiet, or calm. But it was, and would always be, fun. Yes! Another one for the books. Okay, so about Polly's route here. I overall enjoyed this route. It was pretty fun, pretty crazy. It definitely seemed like the continue route, definitely. And yeah, I feel like we had to deal with a lot of politics, so I guess what lesson I could draw from this would be that we can disagree on things, but we need to be able to do it civilly, or else, well, we're not going to be taken seriously. So there is that. Like, we did manage to win the election without being asses to, like, hidden block or something. So there is that, I guess. I think I'll be able to clarify my thoughts further once I, like, get all of the endings and show those off or something. Yeah, anyway, so I'm sure because this is the best ending that we got, there's gonna be like an extra credit scene or something. And yeah. In case you didn't listen to the watch the Gerard series there, this song is like one of my favorite songs on this game too. Like, you can actually listen to the full version of it, either if you like look up the Asagao Academy credits on YouTube or something, or if you were to like complete the game once yourself and go to the extras menu and look up the music, which certain songs unlock when you hear them. So that'd be another way to listen to it. And yes, yeah. Thank you, Hilliseed, for this game. It is awesome. Thanks for playing! Yeah! And ooh, extra credits. Mr. Saitomo sat in his desk chair, contented sigh leaving his lips. It's always exciting to be involved in a good story. He pulled out several thick tomes from the bottom of his desk, searching for one in particular. Finally discovering an old red leather-bound book, he tossed it on top of his desk and took out a magnifying glass. The book itself was written in extremely fine print, and Mr. Saitomo's eyes were not the same as they once were. It took him ages to locate the passages he was searching for. When he finished reading it, he sat back, a slight smile on his lips. It's so sad. Momoka. I wish you could see her now. Momoka. I think that was Hana's mom's name. I'll keep that in mind. She'll become something great, I know. She could hardly not, with her peculiar talent. I hope you're not angry. She couldn't help it. He sighed, fingering a silver scarf at the edge of his desk. At least MOPS is an easy disease. Or MOPS. Not sure which one it is pronounced as. You departed and felt no pain, and you've left a great legacy for your daughter to follow. Well, it's cruel. I suppose main characters' powers have to come from somewhere. It'd be unfair if they were simply born with more fortune than the rest of us. At some point, though, she'll find out. She'll find a picture of herself when she was young, before her hair was pink, back when her mother was still alive, before she was a protagonist. He took out a pipe and lit it, dropping a small amount of tobacco inside. I only hope that she does not blame herself. Mother of the protagonist syndrome. It's a cruel world we live in. Oh. Man. Wow.
Asagao Academy, Normal Boots Club.
And that, I do believe, was Waleed telling us the name of the game to sign off at the end. In case you enjoyed this, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all later. Ciao!